All right, the short version of what happened today is that our 19 accounts out of 20 Apex 50K accounts are still functional. And I did link up and copy paste 3 instead of my normal 2. All right. And it worked out pretty well. Let's take a look at the results today so you can see where we're at. On the 3 accounts, we still have these kinds of, no, we got to get to 50,000, 53,000, 53,000 to pass each one. So the highest ones are 50,700. So we got about 3 weeks to go here, and I got to figure out how to do this. Today, we traded 5 because I copy pasted 3 of them at the same time. And then I copy pasted 2 of them at the same time. And we were only able to really do well on the 3 that we copy pasted at the same time. I didn't copy paste that third one until these 2 were already well going. That's why there's a discrepancy on price. But everything's looking good. I'm just hoping that I can pass some of these or pass most of these anyway before the 30 days is up, so I don't have to pay, the fee for 20 accounts for a monthly charge. All right, so far so good. Everything's looking good. And if you want to watch the long version of what happened today, watch the rest of the video. Peace. All right, what are we doing? We're getting set up here today to copy paste. We have 19 accounts left of the 20. We got 30 days to pass them. That's running out quickly. We did blow the 1, so that's why we're down to 19 accounts. I don't know how this is going to work out. First time doing it, and I'm just trying to pass a few so I can start to get a payout. We got 4 different accounts we're looking at here on the screen. These are each individually copy pasted to 4 other accounts. So we're working with 8 altogether, and that's if I get long on every single one of these accounts that we're looking at here. They're just randomly connected, like 8's connected to 10 and 20's connected to 19. And we blew account 9. That's the one that we no longer have. And we are ready to go. I don't know what the market's going to do today. We're looking at this kind of a day right here. It looks like it's going to maintain its levels. We've got some news coming out at 10. We'll see. Anything can happen. So my goal is to just really be careful, not enter in all the accounts at once, kind of stage them at different levels, enter them in at different prices so that if one gets really low on the drawdown, the other one could, as soon as it bounces, the other one could be at a right price and it could come back up. I'll show you what I'm doing as I take the trades. All right, so hang tight. Continue to watch the video. We got to understand that the day already is red to start off with, and we look at the 60-minute, the 10,000 tick, and down, and we just try to find out, what's going on with the position of the price. Here's a 60-minute. Everything's bullish. The day's red, however. So it's a mix, really, because this could easily come back down to these levels and test. That's that day we had the China news, and came right back up. Didn't quite make new highs. It could either go make new highs, or it can come back down and sweep liquidity down these levels and continue to go sideways, right? So the 10,000 tick chart shows us that it's in the caution zone. And that means that we got to be cautious. In between the 50 and the 20 EMA here, we got to be cautious about going long, right? So if it swept liquidity, here is previous day's high, and that's starting to fall down below previous day's high. Then now see how it happened? Previous day's highs right here came up, fell down below that. It could stay sideways. It could stay like this all day. It could stay just like this. This is the kind of day it could look like. Or we get some news. We've got that massive drop that we've seen before on the NASDAQ, 500-point drop, reversal days of when there's bad news coming out. So we want to be aware of the liquidity levels and what it could potentially do here. Okay, here's an example of the kind of trading I'm doing with these 20 accounts. With 20 Apex accounts, you got 30 days to pass them, or they're going to bill you again for the next month. The trading's a little riskier than you would normally trade if you had passed and you're just trying to make money and income. So here's what I'm doing. If I'm bullish on the day, if I'm bullish on this day right here, or just in general, the bullish market, we can buy the dips. And what I did on my first trade on this account down here is it failed to break out. I got long 1 micro, failed to break out, and I bought another one down here, lowering my average price with 2 micros right here. After it came down this far, I entered in on 1 micro up here on the another account, which is copy pasted to the other one. And if it bounces a little bit here, I made 20 bucks. That's 20 on both accounts. And if it goes back down, I don't hold this one. Because I'm close enough to the break-even price here, if it keeps going up, then this account's going to be okay, right? So it's kind of playing the accounts off of each other. If one blows, then you're in a much better position to buy. If you're bullish in the day charts, you're in a much better position to go long on the other accounts. Now, if it keeps going down, as long as I'm bullish, don't forget what happened on the China news on the 23rd. I was bullish right here. Things are going good. And then the news came out. And then my accounts are going to be blown if I didn't switch positions and go short right here. Okay. Of course, that can happen any day. But we're overall buying the dips on this. And that's the attitude. That's the overall environment that we're looking at here. So if it keeps going down and I'm in a buy the dip mindset, then I'll activate another one of these accounts much, much lower, looking for a bounce on that account, which is copy pasted to another one. So they're all copy pasted to different accounts. They're all separated. We enter in at different levels, different prices. That way, at least some of the accounts have a chance for the bounce. And all we're trying to do is pass a couple of these. All right. So that's the strategy. I hope that makes sense. I can summarize one more time. Buying on one copy paste account and hoping to average in and get a profit on the bounce. If it continues to go down, we use another account. I got this reversed. We use another account to get in at the lower price and make money and sell immediately on that profitable bounce. Okay, because that way, if it goes down, it's okay because you already scalped that. See, usually in the past, when I didn't have a bunch of these accounts, I was desperate that this would be the bounce and it would get me back up here before I could close. That way I could get out of some of the position if it rolls down. Now I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to worry about blowing my account when I have 20 and at least some of them can pass before the 30 days is up. Okay, so that's kind of what we're doing. I hope that makes sense. I'll let you know how we continue to trade. Okay, what I just did was because I just don't really necessarily know that the market's going to go up because it's choppy and indecisive. I just went ahead and once price got up over the average price and turned green and we were able to profit a little bit on those 2 micros, I closed that position and reopened a position for 1 micro. That means that I reduced my area of entry from the fake breakout, which happened up here. Let's take a look at that. This is where I entered in as soon as the market opened up here in the top right. And it was a fake breakout. And it came down here. I added down here. As soon as it came up, I got out of this trade. This was one trade and for profit. It broke even a little bit in the green. And I said, let me enter in here then. And I entered in that same 1 micro right now. And it's almost as if we didn't even take that first trade and we're entering in right here instead. So I'm going to see how this works. It's the only one that I have open right now. And I think it looks like we made $10 on that break even, copied on 2 accounts. But I think it's going to keep chopping around here. Again, the day chart looks like this. If it was a green, strong green day and it came down and it did that, I'd be in a different mindset. But because it's this kind of a day, I want to be careful about being too bullish. Okay, so let's see what happens. Okay, so what I did is playing this tight little range, really. We closed this first trade for a profit, and then I got in with 1 micro as a new trade, a brand new trade. When it dipped, I added, and when it came back up over the top, I sold for a profit, and now I'm holding 1 again. So I'm holding 1 lower than I originally got in that second trade up here because we had an average price that came about right here where the 50% is. And when it got over all of that, when it got over the top of where I originally added the first part of that second trade, when it got up over that, so I knew that was going to be a first in, first out, that was going to be profitable, I got out of it, leaving me only the 1 micro that I added down here. But the original average price was right here where it's 50% because it was in between those 2 micros. So now we're holding the 1 at a lower price, and we're still going to continue to do the same thing. Going to try to buy lower the average price. This is only with one account that's copy pasted to another. It hasn't moved far enough for me to be interested in involving a second account yet. You see, because on the first trade we did up here at the top, when it failed to break out, it moved way down here before I added and lowered my average price. It had to move this far. How far is that before I even engaged the second account? Okay, so I think it was something like, it moved like right here, almost 100 points before I engaged the other account. So we don't want to engage the other accounts too soon, okay? Otherwise, you might as well just trade with a larger size on the individual accounts. So now it's coming back down here, see, like this? You know, I'm ready to just add 1 micro. Ooh, I missed it. It swept that pivot right there, and I should have had one waiting or something. I should have had one waiting. I'd be green right now on the average break, on the average price of those. So I'm too busy talking on the video to catch that. But that's the idea. If I wasn't talking, I would have added right here on this pivot, lowering my average price. Now I'd be scalping out of that one, and then holding the 1 again and just continuously scalping each time. Boy, there's nothing worse than getting fake breakout and looking like it's going to consolidate and go up, and it just doesn't. And it's aggravating. But anyway, what I did was I just added back right here. It looked like that was going to break out. I wanted to get in before it did, and it still might. You know, it's in this range, tight little range. So, you know, now we're long 2 micros. Simple as that. It's the only account that I'm using at the moment. So sometimes it takes me an hour to get my mind wrapped around what the market wants to do and the behaviors of the market, let the news all settle in. And then I start getting braver with 2 and 3 and 4 or 5 micros into some of that towards the end of the day even. All right, so we're long 2 micros, only this account, and we're waiting to see what it's going to do. Okay, I'm not sure if it was a smart thing to do or not, but I sold everything to close out that trade finally, all these different scalps, waiting for it to come back over the top of the average price, selling 1, buying it lower. When it finally came up here, I got out, closed everything. I think it's going to keep chopping around, to be honest with you. So anytime it drops down lower than where I sold it, will give me a better price. We'll be looking to go long again and build a position. Not sure if I'll be able to trade a whole lot of the other accounts if I don't get a nice drop. So we'll see. Okay, I am going to link 3 accounts to the bottom. I've got some Apex accounts that are sitting on 0. I haven't even traded them. I can't do that. I have to at least get these things going and started. And even if I blow some accounts, let's blow the ones that don't have any money in them rather than the ones that have, you know, $700-800 in them. I don't want to blow those because you got to get to 3,000 in order to pass the Apex 50K, the 50K challenge. Some of these accounts are on 0. Some of these accounts are my starter position accounts, which means they're the least likely. I'm not interested as much as preserving them. They're almost sacrificial, if you will. If I'm going to have the markets turn against me, go down, then I can get into a better position for some of the other Apex accounts. They're more sacrificial. So some of my Apex accounts are sitting on 0. And let's take a look at that. I'll just show you what I'm talking about here real quick. That way you can understand what I'm doing. Okay, let's take a look at this. We got that 1 at the top that's been blown, but everything else, let's go from the top down. You can see these right here haven't even been touched yet. All right. So that's quite a few actually that I haven't even had a chance to trade yet. I don't want to sacrifice any of the accounts that have $700 in them. And so right now I need to be really taking more risk on these right here. You never know. That's what happened with these. I took risk on them and they end up becoming the #1 account that I have so far. So I think I need to be doing more than 2. And as the 30 days winds down and we get closer to the billing cycle, I'm really going to need to figure out what I'm going to do. I really don't want to get charged another month. So I'm going to start with 3 at the bottom right. Okay, it worked. I looked on my other monitor and the other 2 accounts were in the same position. Pretty cool, man. I like it. The Apex copier is the best. It's the only one I've ever used, so it works easy. So easy, works great. So yeah, I entered in and I just wanted to see if it was going to work. Entered in right here. As soon as it popped up, I saw the trade on the other accounts, all 3 of them. And as soon as it popped up, we got out right here. And this is the kind of market that it is. So we're not looking for a big run. This is a scalper's market right now. So I'm going to keep doing it as long as it's in this kind of market. Okay, I've just calculated something that I need to understand. From the top of this pivot down here to the bottom here is 90 points, say 100 points. Each micro drops 100. That's a $200 drop. If I have 5 micros, it drops 100. That's a $1,000 drop. All right, so if I enter in 5 micros right now and it drops all the way down to here and it keeps going, that's a $1,000 drop. How much can I lose? What's the threshold on the 50K Apex accounts? 2,500. So if I want to enter my position larger, I have to calculate what I think the risk might be and the probability of the account being blown and how soon that could happen. If this level holds up down here at the bottom, then I don't have to worry about it dropping much further than that today. Then I could probably start scalping more than 1 micro with a little bit more confidence. All right. So if I got into 5 micros and it drops twice as far, then I'm down 2,000, very close to the threshold. And it's more probable that it can go below the account, and that'll blow 3 counts at once. So there's the 1 box. Let's take a look at this. Here's the 1 box. This represents how far down it can go. And I'm only down $1,000, copy paste. If it keeps going down and I'm holding 5 micros, there's the level where I'll be down $2,000 into an area that looks like there is some kind of activity. I like this area. This is a range area, and it's got levels that look like it could bounce off of, order blocks and stuff like that. It looks like that's a decent area. I don't really want it to go against me on 3 accounts that much, so I'm not going to jump in right now with 5, but if it pulls back a little bit, I need to be ready. Let's start with 1 right now. Let's start with 2 right now. Actually, let's start with 1 right now. Let's build
order filled.
So we're long 1 micro on 3. If it keeps going, I'll build into the 5. I'd like it to come down on a lot more if that's my strategy. If I'm bullish today, if I want to try to build a bigger position size, that's the way I'm going to try to do it. Let's take a look at the trend line right here and see what's going on right there. Okay. So yeah, it's trending up for sure. Instead of jumping in at 5 at the top, by the time it gets down to this level here, we could try to be long 5, and that'll give us a lot more room in case it decides to go down against us. So that's what I'll do. I'll try to build into 5. If it keeps dropping, we'll add until we get to 5. Okay, so it's just going up just enough to let me want to take profit on it and scalp again, because I don't believe it's going to have a big, long, strong, continuous breakout. So any profit whatsoever, we're just going to take it, man. And that's what I'm going to do the rest of the day. If anything drastic happens, I'll add it to the video. But right now, just when these 5 accounts, we're just nickel and diming our way. Now, can you imagine if these were already passed and I was trading the same way? You know, willing to sacrifice some to make money in the others, and hopefully, you know, we won't really blow any, but you know, at some point you might blow some, but the strategy overall would be paying. Hopefully that's going to work out. Anyway, we'll see as time goes on if I can even pass any of these in the first 30 days and what I'm going to do about that at the end of this 30-day cycle. So take care, everybody. We'll see you on the next video, Lord willing. Peace.